What's the worst career advice you've ever been given? Actually, you don't need to tell me because I think I've heard it already. It's something that's been passed down generation to generation, almost like business lore. And even when it doesn't work, people seem to just keep passing it on. And I'm familiar with it because I often will encounter the person who believed it, who tried to act on it. And now they're frustrated. Why was I not given the opportunity to take on that big role? I've worked so hard, I deserve this. Or why did those investors invest in that startup and not mine? Well, just because somebody offered you that advice with the best of intentions still doesn't mean it's not bad advice. Hi, this is David with another entry into the Leadership Library for you, that person who sees a much better future as possible and is willing to do the hard work and face the challenges to bring it to life. This video is the first of 2 videos to help guide you to think about your career in a new way so that you can feel more confident, more powerful, have the impact and greater satisfaction with less stress to have that success that you're wanting. But first, we're going to have to break some old beliefs to do so. In this video, I'm going to share with you 2 different types of skills that you're familiar with. But one seems to have been overemphasized to the point where if that's all people do, and this other one has been diminished, where we tend to not invest enough in learning about it. And if you do that, like many people do, as they've been told is the way to do it, you'll find yourself in that place that's frustrated. So first, let's make that distinction in this video about what that confusion is. In the next video, I'll drop in the Leadership Library with that new understanding of how this second type of skill is actually something that you not only want to invest in, but you can plan for by following a path that I've created for you to help you understand it. I didn't create the path, I've defined the path that already existed as possible for you. You'll be able to then make better choices so that no matter whether your company is great at guiding you through your career, you'll still be able to have the agency to make the choices. Now, to be clear, I have never shared any of this information with anyone publicly before. I've shared it with individuals and they've responded really well. But I wanted to make sure that this was actually was publicly available so that you and the people that you care about can know this and take more agency, to have more choice in managing your career as we move forward. So let's now work with this first distinction, understanding the 2 types of skills and how they may be misunderstood. As I begin to share these ideas, I want to share with you, if you've watched any of my videos before or done any work with me, you know that I am a big proponent of the statement by George Box. He said, "All models are wrong, but some are useful." There is no one model that can explain everything in the world. The world is way too complex. People are way too complex, and that's a beautiful thing. And some are useful. All models are wrong, some are useful. What I found is the distinctions I'm going to make for you today, the pathway I'm going to share with you today, I'm not claiming it's the truth, but I found for catalysts, for people who really do want to change the world, these ideas have been really useful and that people have been able to leverage them for great value and success. So I offer that with all of this with the caveat, all models are wrong, some are useful. I hope this is useful to you. First, let me make a distinction between these 2 types of skills. They're going to be obvious to you, but the reason I'm sharing them is not to restate what you already know, but to help you understand. I find that my clients, I've been able to make this distinction for my clients in a way that actually has helped them have more success, have greater impact, make those contributions that they really dream of by understanding and valuing them in the proper way. Because there's almost a lore, a tradition of the way people think about this, that when they just carry it on the traditional way, they're the ones that ask themselves, why are people overlooking me for these opportunities? Why didn't I get that investment? Why did they invest in this other company? Why did I not get the promotion? Why did I not get the funding for my big idea within the company? Whatever it was, that's what can fall short if you don't understand and then know how to value these 2 different types of skills of leadership. The first, incredibly important, subject matter expertise. These are the ideas, the skills that you need to have to understand how your particular business, nonprofit, school, whatever it is, needs to know to operate well. And there are different types of subject matter expertise. It can be operations, it can be engineering, it can be finance, it can be marketing, it can be analytics, it can be all sorts of sales, all sorts of things that you can become a subject matter expert in that are incredibly valuable, important, cannot be done without. And in fact, going deep, I'm a big proponent. In my world, I go deep into my subject matter expertise. So I'm a big proponent of this. What I find is that some people value this to the exception of the other, and I want to help you understand what that is, which is what I call impact skills. Impact skills are the way you engage the people around you to mobilize them to create the movement to bring your idea to life. You know that if your idea is big enough, it's going to be, you're going to face systemic challenges that, the system doesn't support that or even opposes that, the comp structure, whatever it is. The culture may be against it. People's individual ideas, they'll be afraid or in disbelief. So wherever it is that you want to create, you're going to meet all sorts of resistance with that. And you will only be able to bring your subject matter expertise and your idea to life if you are incredibly strong in your impact skills. This is super valuable, but without this, it won't bring you to life. Here's an analogy that may be useful to you. Think of it this way. The subject matter expertise is like your phone. Incredibly powerful, like supercomputing speed at this point. It can process quickly, it has great memory, it has a strong battery, super, super powerful. But subject matter expertise is like having a phone that stands alone. It's not on the network. It can do so much by itself. But for you to bring your great idea to life, you need to have impact skills to bring this subject matter expertise to life. And so we need to tie you into the network. Impact skills are what help you, it makes you better, it makes they make other people better. It helps you take this information and put it into practice in a way that's useful, that others can get, because sometimes subject matter expertise can be so wonky and deep that you need to be able to translate it with these skills so that the people you need to bring this idea to life are able to do that. It's what helps you create movements, okay? The impact skills. Impact skills without subject matter expertise, maybe not so valuable, but your phone without the network is also mostly a computing device or a paperweight. And we need both. What I found is over the years, people have highly valued these and seen these as, well, let me tell you, if I knew the person who named these skills soft skills, I'm not a violent person, but I would smack them for doing such a disservice to so many people who are wondering, why am I not getting the opportunities? I'm such an expert in these things. Why are they overlooking me to this person who just does all the talking and whatever? Yeah, well, it's because they know how to move people. Okay, including senior leadership. So you need both. What I found is this is valued more than this, and these often also seem more scary. They're less tangible, though I've found a way to make them more tangible for people. These are the ones that people say, well, I know them when I see them. Well, but what if we could bring them to life so that you could complement this with this and really go? Here's a way to think about it. If you are, as you go up in the organization, whatever it is, nonprofit, entrepreneurial firm, as you gain more responsibilities, you will rely more and more on these skills for your success. It's not that these don't matter anymore, but the proportion will be weighted as you take on more responsibility. It will go more like this, and these will be weighted more. That's what will bring you to your success. Soft skills, are you serious? These are impact skills. This is what helps you make the difference in the world. You know a lot of wonky experts who can't move two people down the street, okay? So, and that's not against people with subject matter expertise, but it's not this that makes them not be able to achieve and create the impact that they want. It's the lack of this. And so what we're going to do is to focus on how do you understand this and make progress so that you can build the muscles of your impact skills to be as strong or stronger than these. At some point in an organization, you're going to lead more people. Early on in our careers, often, we work with a bunch of other people who share a subject matter expertise. And if you lead people, you're leading people like that. But as you really become the catalyst, you're going to be leading many more people who don't have the subject matter expertise that you do, and yet you're still going to need to be able to bring them along with all of their knowledge to create this thing that you want to build. I hope that makes sense. Let's now go to what's the pathway that I found. After watching it for 20 years, I finally figured out how to define it in a way that my clients can value it, and I'd like to share that with you. First time ever in public now. I hope this video has helped you gain some new insight into yourself with an old distinction that you surely already knew between subject matter expertise skills and impact skills, or at least what I like to call impact skills, so that you can look back and ask yourself, how have I been balancing them? Am I investing in a way that I think is setting me up for a future I want? And regardless of what your answer is, what choices will you make that might be different in the future, and what new actions might you take, or what old actions might you stop taking, so that you can have that insight and make different choices. With this, the next video is all about how do I now look at this notion of impact skills, that if you believe they are indeed as valuable as I do, you can actually look at your past into the future and make some new choices with almost an understanding of the stages that any person who intends to be a catalyst will go through in their career, as well as choices you can make, almost a checklist of these are the skills and these are the ways that I can build them out. So that regardless of what's happening and what other people, leadership, your company, whoever are telling you is important, you have the agency to make choices and investments in yourself now that you have this available. So I'm excited to share that with you. It will be, again, something I've never shared before. And at the end of that next video, I'm going to ask you some questions to help you reflect on yourself and the choices that you can make, but also to give me feedback, because I never have shared this before. I'd love to know how it landed with you so I can keep making this better. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.